know, just let me know. That clock keeps ticking like a metronome in my...
And welcome to the Tell You What podcast. It's just me, Sean, here this week. No Tal. And before you click off, I'm just letting you know Talal's not on the episode this week. He was over supporting his brother fighting against Michael Conlan last week. That boy was definitely related to Talal. I don't care what anybody says, but you're very welcome to this week's episode. Before we get into any of the news and any things we're going to be talking about, let me tell you quickly about our wonderful sponsors, Rainbow Competitions. You can see them down below me here if you're watching YouTube. Unbelievable competitions. Look, me and Talal have been telling you all about Rainbow Competitions for the last few weeks. And let me tell you something. If you want a real chance of winning a competition, Rainbow Competitions is the only one you need to get onto. There's competition pages everyone's been telling us. There's loads of them. This is the one where you have the chance to actually win. And if you use code TellYouWhatPodcast, you can save 10% on tickets. I think it's that. You can save something anyway. I'm not going to lie to you. I can't really remember the amount you can save. But genuinely, if you want a chance of winning, I was looking at the page today. There's people that have won already multiple times on this page. Because they're new, because they're only starting out. They haven't got millions of people entering. You have a real chance of winning this. So we want local people. If you're listening to the podcast, get involved. Go support the boys. They're supporting us. Rainbow Competitions. Buy your super cheap tickets and get involved. RainbowCompetitions.com. Check them out, guys. So yes, let's get on with the episode. Just me this week. I hope you are still tuned in. I know Talal's the main star of this podcast, but you can put up with me for maybe half an hour this week. I'm going to chat all things that was happening in the sporting event. We tried to make this episode work for a wee while, and Tal just got too much on at the minute. So we're going to be chatting the big boxing night that was on. We had Conlan back fighting again with Tyrone McKenna headlining the bill. With the Six Nations, Ireland lost their dream Grand Slam to France. Premier League action, as always, kicking off. The Premier League seems to be wrapped up now with Arsenal losing more points at United. We'll be talking all about that. I know we've plenty of United fans listening to this podcast. Nottingham Forest again, big result away. And then Liverpool. I have a few things to say about that Liverpool Southampton game, but don't be worrying. We'll get into all that in a little minute. Before we do that, though, I thought I'd touch on my week. Just my usual stuff. I was out gigging around the country. Belfast Comedy Club back on every Tuesday night. We had one of our best ever sold out nights at Belfast Comedy Club. So if you're one of these people and you're thinking, I want to get involved in stand-up comedy, get down to Belfast Open Mic. We have had some absolute lunatics come down the past few weeks. We had a guy the other day talk about his private parts, if there's children listening to this, for a solid 5 minutes. 5 full minutes of it, and I was going, he's bound to stop talking about this at some stage, and he didn't. He used every bit of his 5 minutes to talk about the male genitalia, shall we say. So yeah, get down, support the club. There's been loads of cool stuff happening. I think the past few weeks we've had one or two, at least one, probably two first-time comedians on, and lots of new people, some exciting, real good comics that are sort of developing through the scene as well. So if you want, check out Belfast Comedy Club. Just come down to that. Tickets are £5. And get up to the big city and listen to and come for some Tuesday night comedy if you can. But yeah, that's kind of all I was really doing this week. You have probably picked up by now on this podcast, I don't live the most extreme mental life. This week, I will share you, as we mentioned a few weeks ago, I've been saving and laying low because I'm trying to move away. I'm trying to go out to Canada, but eventually we got the green light this week. I've got my visa. So at some stage this year, I will be moving out to Canada. So maybe we'll talk about American sports. Maybe we'll be chatting. We'll definitely be chatting on different time zones and stuff like that. But that should be fun. I'm going to go out there, get a job, and see what we can do. That's going to be happening later in the year. So I haven't really told many people that, but the Tell You What crew need to know. They need to know exactly what's happening in my life. So that's pretty exciting news that's been happening in my life. If you know anyone out in the Vancouver area, tell them McAlevy's coming. And they better have some fat paychecks out there for me to survive because it looks so expensive. I don't know what I'm doing, man. Honestly, it's terrifying me. It's terrifying me going out there. But I'm going to really look forward to it. Me and the woman, as some people hear me refer to it, me and Ashton will be moving out there some stage this year. So very exciting times. But yeah, you didn't tune in to listen to me ramble about my life problems and stuff's come up my life. You have tuned in for the sports talk. So let's get into it straight away. Where am I going with this? Boxing. We'll start with boxing. Why not? So we had the big boxing night on there on Friday, which say Michael Conlan returning against Can, and then Tyrone McKenna headline against Harlem Eubank. Now, Channel 5 had this on. I've got to say, can't hate on Channel 5. They've got the boxing back on TV. It's free. Did I still use a Fire Stick to stream Channel 5 even though it's on the normal TV? Yes, I did. I don't know why I do that. I'm not going to get myself in trouble, but the Fire Stick is the greatest invention that has ever existed, all right? So yes, you know you're in a weird spot in life when you're illegally streaming TV that's free. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to do that, but I'm a bad guy. What can I say? That's what I like to do. So yes, had the fights on. It started at like 9 o'clock. So they didn't show any of the undercards. It was all online. But if you wanted to at 9 o'clock, you tuned in. Conn was fighting Can. Now, here's what I'm going to say. I mentioned at the start of the podcast. Did Michael Conlan show up to that fight in unbelievable shape? Yes, he did. Like, he had abs and abs hanging out of place I didn't even know abs could be in. Like, he looked like one of them old like Victorian things people did their washing on. You just scrub it again. Like, you could have grated the cheese off this man's abs. Conlan was in phenomenal shape. Like, that rosary bead tattoo never looked so well. All right, he looked unbelievable. So good to see him get back in the ring again. He was fighting Can. This guy Can, Asif Can, I think his name was. I think we're all fair to say here that no one had heard of him, but he did have a positive winning record. He fought, I think, for an intercontinental, like sort of eliminator fight at one stage. So, you know, not exactly a journeyman. Putting there with like, if this guy had beat Conlan, but would have been the greatest moment of his life. Absolutely, it would have. But Conlan got the decision. It was 8 rounds. I don't know. It looked like Conlan really just wanted the rounds. Like, maybe he tried to put him away in the 7th and 8th. I don't know. People are being really harsh on Conlan though. Like, people are coming down going, why are you fighting some boy that works for Just Eat? Like, the guy wasn't that badly out of shape. Like, it's just Conlan was absolutely yoked out of his mind. Like, completely shredded down. But yeah, Conlan snuck a few rounds. It was dangerous enough. Conlan though, sort of like by the end, I'd say like round 7, you sort of seen like I can only imagine. Well, I don't need to imagine. You all know now, King Boxer Mac Levy here. Like, for him, I think they said he hadn't won a fight in like 500 days. So like, I don't know, more, maybe it was more. It might have been like 2 years counting since his last win. And like, some of the knockouts he's had have been pretty heavy. Like it would take a while to recover from those. So the fact that he got in there with someone that was, you know, not just a journeyman. Like, the guy was active. He was trying to win. He was trying to land big punches. There was one stage where he was like tapping his head, being like, "Come on, you madman!" But yeah, Conlan got the win. Did exactly what he needed to do. But then the weird thing was, they just like, so weird. So like, Conlan wins the fight, right? The referee raises his hand. Can then is like, "Can we get some selfies with you, Michael?" As if like, that was the stage I was like, right, this guy didn't expect to win here. This is like, he's delighted. And you could almost see him like, "Conlan, make sure you get the Olympic ring tattoo in this photo and all. Let's go hard on my Instagram." And Can was from India or something like that, so that would go hard in fairness. Like, but yeah, Can was just interested in getting a few photos, making sure the squad got in for a few photos. The meet and greet got done at the end. And then there was a bit of lingering around. I was like, what are they doing here? And it turned out they announced in the ring, like, they literally went, "And the winner, 78-74, Michael Conlan." And then the next words came out of your man's mouth was, "And he will now fight for the blah, 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 European title against Crossball Lorente." And I was just like, wait, what? And then this guy Lorente just like dawdles into the ring with a belt. And I'm going, who is this guy? Like, obviously this was all set up that Conlan was obviously going to beat this guy Can. But like, I don't think if Can had won that fight, the next fight was going to be Cristobal Lorente. Now, I've done a quick wee bit of research on this guy, Lorente. No relation to Lorente that used to play for Spurs. Fantastic shit. That's great crack for me. I'm on my own this week. That's as good as you're going to get, lads. 9 minutes into the podcast. Lorente used to play for... Come on. What do you expect? But Cristobal Lorente, 20-0, which does seem like a big step up from Can. Now, again, I'm not saying he looked like he worked for Just Eat. I'm just saying that's what other people were saying. A lot of people in the comments said they weren't too impressed with Michael Conlan. I think, what do you expect? The guy hasn't fought in ages. some pretty big knockouts. He's on this. You can clearly see he's on this rebuild stage. I think actually the best part of all this was when he was asked, because I think Conlan lives in Sheffield now, and there's a guy going like, "What do you think of living over here in Sheffield?" He just goes, "It's Sheffield, isn't it?" He just is like, nothing to do. He goes, all to do is go to the gym and play Call of Duty afterwards, which honestly sounds like my dream. So fair play to him. Conlan's back in the win column. He's fighting Cristobal Llorente. Now that's going to be in May time by the sounds of things. So we're in March now. March, April, May. No, it couldn't be 8 weeks away. Maybe 12 weeks. Maybe June. Must be in June. And I'm in two minds here. I'm like, should that fight be in Ireland? I think Conlan really quietly wants to go about his business for this world title shot. He's eyeing up. Like, I think he wants to go. I wouldn't be surprised if he fights this Cristobal guy in Spain. I mean, most of the fights now don't really happen outside of the UK or America, do they? And they're not going to put a European title fight in America. So will Conlan fight somewhere weird in Ireland? Will he bring it to Belfast? Is it already booked in? Do we know? I'm not entirely sure, but he seems to be doing this Channel 5 deal. I think the deal they've done is with Channel 5 to have fights places, and that, how do I word this carefully? I'm trying to be careful in words. I'll talk about the McKenna fight, and then we'll talk about the event that I watched on Channel 5. That's fine. But yeah, so he's going to be topped up to fight again here, and I'd say probably take like 2-3 weeks off, 4 weeks off, and then train for 12 weeks and fight this guy, Cristobal. Although, having said that, he looked like he was in absolutely magnificent shape. Am I just drooling over the fact that he looked great and I wish I had a body like that? Yes, I am. But back with a win, and I don't think you can hate on that. I think it's a good news story for everyone. If Conlan gets winning again, and Conlan does well, and Conlan gets his world title, that's all we want to see. Surely that's all we want. So yeah, well done to Conlan. Delighted to see him back in the ring. Delighted to see him get a win. Really enjoyed that. Then we had our main event. Oh my God. We were talking last week about Tommy McCarthy being in the ring, and I was like, mate, this is giving me a heart attack. And I was there live, so it was even worse. Tyrone McKenna might be the greatest boxer to watch out of anyone we watch. Because he, like, I text my dad. I wish I could show you the message. He goes, does this guy McKenna have any chance? He goes, the bookies aren't giving him a chance. But let me tell you something. He's not coming here to go 12 rounds. So he either gets him out of there or he gets stopped himself. That's kind of been the tale with Tyrone the last few while. But I absolutely love watching Tyrone McKenna fight. First of all, outfit choice. He had the Bua headband on, the Bua on the shorts. Fantastic. And then you had Harlem Eubank. I just keep going to say Harlem Eubank Jr. No, but Harlem Eubank, this is what we figured out, is cousins to Chris Eubank. So that means, I suppose that means, yeah, Eubank Sr. is also his cousin. Yeah, that's how that works. Okay, there we go. But yeah, Eubank was there as well. Eubank Sr. was there as well, watching the fight. Weird guy. Eubank Sr. Like, Harlem Eubank seemed like pretty normal enough dude. Like, obviously didn't get much chat out when he was boxing, but like, did you all see that interview Tommy Tiernan did with Eubank? The weirdest thing ever. The Tommy Tiernan show can be a bit intense, and people from here don't really get it sometimes anyway. But that one, if you haven't watched that, go watch that Eubank Tommy Tiernan interview. It's one of the strangest interviews I've ever seen in my life. There's one stage where he asked him, he was like, what does he say? Something about not being vain or something like that, or humble or something like that. And then Eubank's like, well, if I wasn't humble, I wouldn't be here, because I would look at it and be like, I'm not doing that because I'm too big for that. I'm like, mate, if you think that's not how that works. Anyway, getting off topic here. Yes, Harlem Eubank versus McKenna. This was very much big fight, and this is where I'm gonna criticize heavily, massively actually. These fights were all held in Brighton. For as long as I may live, Sean McLeavy on this God's green earth, I will never be attending a fight event in Brighton. That was the worst atmosphere for any fight I had ever seen in my life. Tyrone McKenna and Conlan walked out, the two bangers. Now, were the borderline, Rad tunes and kneecap played for one of them? Yeah, but I love that. Do you know how hard that would have went in Belfast? Like every Irish fighter from here on out, just kneecap walkouts. That is all we want to hear. You can mix in your wee bit of, like, Christy Moore or something soft to get it going. Or, I don't even know the song was walkout, but it's always like, oh, we man, and then the Irish fighter will stand there for like 5 minutes before they start walking. And then at that stage, that's where you get the I'm a H double OD. That's fantastic. Like, really love the kneecap elements to it. But that Brighton crowd did not get it. Not one bit. And then I was thinking to myself, well, obviously, these are the away fighters, so they're not going to like them whatsoever. And out walks Harlem Eubank. Not even a bit of noise in the place. He's from Brighton. And nobody cared. I'm like, what are you doing at this event? It was like, are you not serving drink? Which, by the way, I actually can't believe thinking back this in the SSE there, where you're allowed to drink. You're not allowed to drink at a soccer match in the stands, but you can drink at a boxing event. That makes absolutely no sense. But anyway, different topic for a different time. Harlem Eubank walks out to no noise, no madness, and fight starts. I actually thought Tyrone boxed so differently to anything I've ever seen him. Like when he beat Moran down south there a few months ago, the two of them were just throwing haymakers at each other. Canada was looking a bit more like controlled, like sort of like using his height advantage and stuff like that. By the way, I'm no boxing expert, 1-on-1 in the Ulster Hall, but who cares? And I'm gonna have to stop joking about that because people are just going to start thinking I'm being serious. I thought McKenna boxed class really well, and then I think he got caught with one or two just big punches. Eubank looked big, like muscle big, like, and he got put down 2, maybe 3 times, and then the referee sort of called it. But even the commentary were just like, Tyrone McKenna, what an absolute hero for the way he fights. He just gets in there. He does not care. He's like getting caught. He got caught with like 1 or 2 big shots. He's like going like, come on, bring it on, like, lad. If I get hit with that, I'd be asleep for a week. There's absolutely no chance I'll be getting up from that. But Tyrone's one of them ones where, like, I think I've watched a few of his fights recently, and I'm like, even when he gets smacked hard, he gets put down, and he's got stopped 1-2 fights I'm watching, I'm like, he'll be fine. He'll be all right. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love watching the fight. I really hope he doesn't retire off the back of that. I really enjoy watching Tyrone fight. I would have loved for him to fight on that, like, Crocker undercard or something like that, and being able to go and watch one of his fights. But obviously Tommy retiring last week. Big happy retirement to Tommy McCarthy. People are rumoring that Tyrone may retire, but I really hope not. I really, really enjoy watching Tyrone McKenna fight. So please, Tyrone, if you're listening to this, I know you're a big fan of the Tell You What podcast. Keep fighting. I absolutely love it. And the man's got the best boxing gear in the business, and also probably my favorite walkout of all time now. So please don't retire. I'm a massive fan. But yes, that's the boxing news over. Channel 5 did a weird job with it. I don't know if I liked the production of it. It was a bit weird. Maybe it was just Brighton didn't have any atmosphere in it. I don't know if people of Brighton, what they're normally like, or what they're into, but it clearly isn't boxing. And they're like, Harlem Eubank, he's from here. I'm like, doesn't sound like it, mate. Sounds like nobody's ever heard of this guy. So yeah, that's enough boxing talk anyway. I'm just sipping on my juice here. I have no idea how anyone does one of these solo podcasts. This is deadly. Like, we're 18 minutes in here. I listen to a show called The Tim Dillon Show every week. An hour plus he does every week of just non-stop madness. So, right, let's get into our next news. Rugby. We'll go rugby or go Premier League next. We'll go rugby. Sure, why not? The rugby was bad. What a terrible day. Like, so much. Oh, let me tell you something. So much of my plans for this month have relied on Ireland winning this game against France. Like, everything was like, if Ireland beat France, that Italy game the week after, I am going to have a great day out. I'm going to go out in the pints. I'm going to meet up with people. I'm going to see my dad. We're going to go for pints. I know there's nothing to root for. For anyone who didn't see it, Ireland lose to France. The scoreline didn't do it justice if you're just looking at the scoreline alone. France done a number. Serious number. Like, you had all the Irish fans down there, you know, all the guys that bring their girlfriend down, and all the people from PwC to get tickets. Shell-shocked. Absolutely shell-shocked, my guy, that Ireland didn't get the win against the French. Blah, blah, blah. It was mental. Like, there was so much hype around this game because it was the last game that, like, there was like 2 or 3 Irish lads were making their last appearances, and then Cian Healy, Conor Murray, and there's someone else I'm forgetting, but it was their last time playing, so it was a bit of a testimonial match, fielded. Ireland came out, huffed and puffed, and couldn't get over the line, and France were clinical and doing their France thing where, like, they overturn the ball and just make a ridiculous play and score off the back of it. They came out hard and they challenged, what do you call the fly half for Ireland now? Van der Fleer, was that his name? No. Anyway, the guy, no, Van der Fleur, the guy, the fly half guy, what's his name again? It came out hard after him anyway, and I know he's the future of Ireland rugby, but it just feels so soon from him. There's so much pressure to win a Grand Slam against a good French team are coming for blood in Ireland. Like that Ireland team haven't lost for a long, long time at home in the Six Nations. So bit of a hard one to swallow. The first half was close, and you're going, maybe the second half we can keep it tight, we can push on. Ireland get a try early on, and they did, and then France just seemed to run away with it, stop trying, and yeah, just shattered everyone's dreams. You know, all my plans next week are absolutely ruined because of it, and I'm not happy about it. Not happy about it. Basically, I think what happens is France play Scotland, and if France lose, Ireland are going to play Italy. So Ireland win against Italy, unless something goes horrendously wrong out there. But Ireland will win. I don't even think a bonus point's enough. I think there's 2 points in it. So if France win with a bonus point, France win and don't get a bonus point, and Ireland win and you don't win. I don't know. Does anyone care about winning the Six Nations? Like just win it. I feel like once the Grand Slam's over and you've beat England, it kind of doesn't matter. Like if you, the Six Nations for me is one of them ones where it's like you can be out of the tournament, but see if your last game's against England, that's big. Like you want to win that, like. But yeah, when you can't win the Grand Slam, it sounds silly because the Grand Slam's such a hard thing to win. But it's like you don't want to just win the tournament. Like to lose someone and then play Italy in the last week. I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I don't love it. I don't really think it'll be super entertaining for anybody come the last day. But what am I to say? All right, what am I to say? You can go out and go on the last if you want to watch the rugby, but I don't think it's the end anybody wanted for the MSN, the Men's Six Nation. Should have specified they were talking about the Men's Six Nations because they've done that rebrand, haven't they? And no one else would know what you're talking about. So I'm getting delusionally tired. I need to wrap this up. So yeah, that was the rugby. Major disappointment for Ireland. With World Cup in 3 years to prepare for. Let's hope we can pick it up by then. And then on to Premier League news. Okay, here we go. I don't want to talk about Premier League, but we're going to have to, aren't we? We're going to have to sit down and have a wee chat here. Let's talk about the Sunday games first. Arsenal versus United. Right, that's enough of that. Yep, that'll do. No, it was one of the worst games of football I've ever watched. That United team are horrendous, and that Arsenal attack is non-existent. That's the only way you can put it. It is so terrible and so infuriating. I'm glad Tal's not here. I'm actually pretty sure that's why Tal's called in sick, because he's like, nah, Sean's on his own this week. Arsenal broke my heart again. You know what breaks your heart as an Arsenal fan? I'm going to be real with you for a wee minute. So there's no trying to be funny here or nothing. This is just deadly serious. See the pain United have inflicted to me. 8-2s, 6-1s. Like when Arsenal have been bad, United have put their foot on our throat and killed us. I mean, give you some of the worst days of my life. I was the only Arsenal fan in my primary school, walking into school in a class of 30, 15 lads, all support United or Liverpool. Only Arsenal fan. And then United and Arsenal fans United and Liverpool fans would only come together for one thing. And I was watching me walk into school on a Monday after we lost either team. The horrors I have against United. And when they're at their worst, we can't even beat them. They beat us in the FA Cup this year. Fair enough, those penalties, and then drew with us over there. Sack the manager. No, I'm joking. But I love that. No, I'm not at that stage yet. But I just knew off the back of a 7-1 win, 7 goals. I was like, that's all the goals for the rest of the season. We have no more goals left after tonight. That's it. After you beat PSV, score 7, you're like, that's it. We'll not score one more goal in that Champions League. I'm telling you now, that's every goal we had in the Champions League used at one game. And now we go on to play either Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid, which will be, if I speak, I am in trouble. Although I do have my hopes up. So I might try to go to that Arsenal game. You might as well go and see Mbappe. Like, I'll be kind of cool. Like, or Bellingham and all them boys. Like, I've never watched Madrid play. I'd like to. But yeah, Arsenal just absolutely terrible. United, not much better. I seen a thing actually there. I'll talk about this really quickly. Oh my god, that stupid ref watch show they do on Sky. So there's a whole drama in the Arsenal game. The Bruno Fernandes free kick that went in. The wall was like 11.2 yards away and it should be 10. And the referee got the distance wrong. So they're trying to make a point on Sky today, being like, no, referees like get this perfectly. And like the guest referee they have, like the professional that gives his opinion, which by the way, his opinion 99 times out of 100 is I agree with exactly what the referees decided there because they're spineless. They're absolutely spineless, let's be honest. But what they did was go watch this, right? He was on Sky and he goes, let's say the referee's called Davey. Right, Davey, let's say if you can measure out exactly 10 yards or just walk across the studio there, we'll start you here. Go on ahead and then we'll measure you. And he walks out, and you can clearly see in the middle of the floor, but let's just say 10 yards away, there's a wee piece of tape, a black piece of tape on the ground. And he walks as far as there and goes, yeah, about here. And they measure it. And oh my God, would you believe it? Exactly 10 yards away. And like, what are we watching, Sky? What have you just done? Like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch it. It is absolutely mental. And they're going, yeah, well done. You got that right. He goes, that's just years in the game. So it is. You've literally drawn on the ground with a marker. Anyone could do that. It was like, oh, it was so sad, so pathetic. Sky, do better. This is why people like us, me and Talal, speaking the real truth about sports. If the wall's 11.2 yards away, referees are they're useless. So what do we expect? What do we expect? They're never going to get out with the ruler anytime soon. They're not going to draw lines on the pitch. What's the point in complaining about it? There really isn't one. Declan Rice scored the equaliser. Goes on to shush United fans at 1-1. Declan, I love you, mate, but you can't be doing that, pal. You can't be shushing someone at 1-1. That's just... no, and they're not in the game. You can't do that, man. That's like me. It's like having like a... For comedy-wise, I've got something in my eye here. Oh my God. I am having a disaster today. It's like having like a 5 out of 10 gig, barely surviving a death at like a corporate function, and then like shushing the crowd. You know what? I would respect that more. I would actually respect that more. It was like, do you think the Jose Mourinho stay humble? That's like, could you imagine Jose Mourinho did that speech, stay humble, but he'd won no Premier Leagues? It doesn't work, Declan. You can't do that. I'm sorry. But anyway, I'm not talking about United Arsenal anymore. League's over. Liverpool have won it. Although, I will say this. That Liverpool decision for the penalty, nobody's talking about it. Do you know why? It just suits Liverpool lovely, doesn't it? Like, when I tell you now, I hope there's Liverpool fans in this. When I tell you now, based on this season, see when I watched every second of that Liverpool PSG game the other day. See when I seen Liverpool score in the back of the net, I'm going, they're winning the treble. Like, I think they're going to win the treble and get relegated next season because they have had, and they've been a good team. I am not getting at the idea that they haven't been good, but the amount of luck they had, they should have had a man sent off in the first half against PSG. Oh, don't even get me. I just can't. I can't put into words. When I seen they beat PSG, I'm going, that's over. This is unfathomable. Unfathomable. What's that word? Unfathomable. Like, I can't believe the amount of luck they've had. That PSG result is one of the most mental games of football. The fact they got a win, like, they were going for a draw. This is what I mean. They were playing for a draw and got a win. How is that even possible? Like, that is what. But anyway, the penalty against Southampton. Southampton go 1-0 up. I don't know why I do this. I go, 1-0 up. Very good. Ireland game just ended, so flicked it on. Goes, it's 1-1. I check my phone. Goes 1-1. Maybe I'll fire on. The moment I flicked it on to that Liverpool game, it was still a black screen. It was just loading in. All I heard was a whistle blow and go, penalty. And I was like, here we go. I bet you this isn't the Southampton. And lo and behold, it was the Liverpool. No one's questioning, was it a penalty? It is. Let me just say, if he didn't give it, it wasn't getting overturned. That's what I'll say on that matter. Salah does what Salah does best, and yeah, they get the win. And I just can't believe the luck they've had. They have been good. I'm going to give them their full props. They have been good. Like, but my God, Liverpool fans, even you can admit, like, you've been riding. You've not even been riding your luck. It's just like it almost feels like, do you know when like a solar eclipse happens once every like 15 years or something like that? It's mental. I can't get over it. But yeah, I'm going to wrap on this. Nottingham Forest beat Man City. What an achievement. I really hope Nottingham Forest get top 4. I really do. They might actually get it ahead of Arsenal because we're terrible at the minute. I don't see where we're going to score more goals from, but unbelievable for Nottingham Forest. Delighted to beat City. The longer City stay in the mud, the better. Now, I do think it's going to be all right. Liverpool have been so lucky and fortunate and good this season, and City have been so bad. It's gonna flip again. I guess who's going to be stuck in the middle again? Arsenal. So there you go. There you have it. Arsenal to finish second for. We're going to be the new. Remember, it used to be fourth, second forever, and my life will be miserable. But if you enjoy that misery, make sure you tune into this podcast because you'll be hearing all about it in the next coming of weeks. Lads, I appreciate you putting up with me. For anyone that's listened to the solo episode, if you've enjoyed it, let me know. We don't plan on doing many of these, but we wanted to make sure we get an episode out for everybody. Apologies it's out on the Monday. Talal sends his apologies as well. He doesn't like to miss any episodes, but he's rehearsing for his new play. Check out the Crack Theatre for that upcoming, and as well check out Talal's solo show, which is coming very soon. I'm going to be there. Talal's going to be there. I'm going to be getting on the beer as MC. Talal's going to be telling hilarious jokes. Get a ticket bought. There's loads of people out there that go, oh yeah, I must come see you sometime or blah, blah. This is the one. This is the best stuff he's done. All his hard work, everything is going into this set, and it's going to be a lovely night. Really good. And normally people with these things go, come on, be sound, help me. You're the one missing out if you don't go to this show. This is the one to go see Talal at. This will be unbelievable. So please do yourself a favor. Don't miss out. Don't miss out on what's going to be a brilliant night, and get a ticket bought to the Middle East Beast in the Crack Theatre at the end of this month. We will see you there. And as well, before I go, Belfast Comedy Club, we've got Mark McCartney coming down this month. Get a ticket bought for that as well. One of the best venues in the country, may I say, for stand-up comedy. So the fact you get to see him in that room would be absolutely magical. And yeah, guys, thank you very much for putting up with me this week. I hope you've enjoyed this solo episode. I hope you've enjoyed the misery of Arsenal. And we'll be back with our regular schedule very, very soon. Thank you. See you later. Goodbye.
Oh, just let me, that clock keeps ticking like a metronome in my